Good morning, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and I'm outstanding in my field, literally. I'm picking fresh herbs to use in my recipes today, so stay where you are as I finally give you recipes taking advantage of my herbs today on SoFlo Taste. And don't you agree it's about thyme and parsley and rosemary and tarragon and sage and oregano. How fun is that? Hey everybody, welcome to SoFlo Taste. I am Chef Michelle Bernstein, and I am not in the Goya kitchen at J.A. World in Coconut Creek. Nope, I am here in my front yard, and I'm about to meet with Dylan Terry, who owns Ready to Grow Gardens, because he has created My Edible Gardens. Hi Dylan.
Hey Michelle.
How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Thanks for coming today.
Of course.
So tell me about some of the stuff that's growing in here.
Well, this is the Swiss chard. It's doing really well, and then underneath we have the culantro. This is actually a great herb that has a flavor similar to cilantro, but
Are they related?
They are not related, but they have a similar flavor, and this one can grow in more shade, and it also can grow through the summer, whereas the cilantro actually can't do very well through the summer.
So what's in the new pot that you just brought today?
These are sorrel. Some people call it French sorrel, and it has a lemony flavor to the leaf.
It does. I love sorrel. I love it cooked and raw.
Yeah.
I make a lot of things with it, but I just love it sauteed on its own. It's really good with fatty foods and like fatty fish. It's delicious.
Yeah.
What's this?
This is a pepper. This is a Japanese bell pepper called tender bell. And we've got some other peppers here. This is a really hot one called West Indies habanero. And we have
Can't wait for that.
dattel pepper, which is
dattel.
Yep.
What you find a lot pickled from the Caribbean.
This one is a Brazilian starfish pepper, which
This one is growing so tall.
yeah.
But I keep waiting for the peppers to come. I'm excited, and I keep promising my husband that I'm going to give him a spicy pepper soon.
Yeah.
I had no idea that we could actually grow. You want to tell them?
Watercress.
It grows much closer to the soil. It's so good. Here, everything you grow tastes like it's supposed to. Like watercress is spicy. It has a beautiful flavor without the bitterness. Arugula, which we're going to jump into in a minute, is like that Italian arugula. Everything that you're bringing here is actually from here, right? Started growing here.
Well, yeah, we grow everything from seed or cutting at our nursery. We grow everything organically, and I think there's something to be said about growing in the soil. You know, that's how these plants have evolved over time, and having healthy soil makes plants healthy, but I think it also makes the flavor better.
So here we are in it's actually the first bed. I call it my first one because it's closer to the street. This is more the fruit and vegetable bed because it has all these glorious tomatoes. Starting here though, we've got what kind of kale?
This is a rainbow lacinato kale. Basically, it's similar to this lacinato kale, but it has a kind of a pinkish purple stem.
It does. It has an incredible, I didn't realize. Is this a new one? You haven't brought this here before?
No, not yet.
Oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have some lettuces growing here. Some beautiful lettuces, which I've been eating a lot lately, and I'm actually going to teach y'all how to make a green goddess using all those herbs and some of my lettuces and some tricks as well. All right, let's keep walking. I have beautiful kale here, but I have different kinds of kale here. The curly kale.
Dinosaur kale is a pretty fun name. It's also called lacinato kale or Tuscano kale.
And this is gorgeous. My God, those purple stems are so beautiful. I've been eating this one a lot.
Yeah, this one is called red Ursa kale.
Wow.
Yeah.
These sauteed in a little bit of olive oil, that's all you need. Let's now talk about tomatoes.
Yeah.
Because we have different tomatoes, which I actually did not realize until you were here last, because I didn't realize, well, this is your favorite, first of all. You want to go ahead and pick, I know we have some ripe ones. There's a lot of green, and there's a lot of flowers, which means they're coming.
So this is my favorite tomato. This is called the black cherry tomato. You might be able to describe the flavor better than me, but I know I love it. But
so what I love is that it starts with a sweetness, and then it finishes with the tiniest hint of brightness, like acidity, almost like a cherry would.
This is probably my second favorite.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the Sun Gold tomatoes.
This is different because it doesn't start as sweet, but it finishes a little sweet. It has a little bit more of a balance where this one was a little bit more of a pop, and this one's kind of the same all the way through. It's just delicious. I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah.
So what do people do if they want to have edible gardens in their homes?
The main thing is to find a spot that gets good sun. The more sun, the better.
Yeah.
And it needs good exposure to the south, because in the winter, especially, which is the main growing season, the sun is a little lower in the sky.
You know, if you can, I would call his company. They are incredible. You started me off, and sometimes I bring things and plant them myself, or sometimes they come and plant and they harvest and they do, I hate to say it, all the dirty work. Make sure you call Dylan Terry. You're an edible landscaper in ready to grow gardens. Come right back so I can put some herbs in my spotlight.
Come back to the Goya Kitchen at J.A. World, Michelle, and the food. This is SoFlo Taste.
I'm design expert Elena Capra, asking you to stay tuned for SoFlo Home Project next. Now, back to Chef Michelle.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, and welcome back inside J.A. World in Coconut Creek, a place dedicated to our kids. For information about this instructional institution, go to jasouthflorida.org or call 954-979-7100. Now back to the herbs I picked in my front yard. So the first recipe I'm actually cooking is going to be this beautiful Asian-inspired beef noodle salad. I'm going to go ahead and just start cooking the beef, and then I can tell you about all my beautiful herbs that I'll be adding to this. So I'm actually going to use a wok for the beef. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on so that it's a really hot, really quick cook. I have gorgeous skirt steak today. This beautiful skirt steak came from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. You can always go see them at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, or go to delawarechicken.com, get more information, or call them at 954-983-6831. They not only have steak, they have every kind of beautiful poultry and ducks, fish, seafood. Go see them, tell them Michelle sent you. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and add this right in here. It's already sliced up. We cut it into like 1/2-inch slices right up the steak. And I'm going hot and fast. I'm gonna season it up with a little bit of salt and some black pepper. Okay, while that cooks, here I have vermicelli noodles or Asian rice noodles. I love them because they're made out of rice. They don't have flour in them. So all you do is stick this in boiling water for 1 minute, drain it, cool it with some cool ice water, and then you're all set. They don't really stick, and if you feel like you're a little afraid they will, you can add a little peanut or sesame oil, just very simply. And the sesame oil would be actually really nice, because then you're going to have a little flavor of the sesame oil in your noodle. And you can just kind of mix that in, and then you'll make sure that they don't stick, and they'll have that lovely flavor of the sesame. All right, those only have about 30 seconds, maybe a minute to cook. All right, so moving over, we're gonna jump right into the vinaigrette, which I've made a few times, and I always make it a little differently. It's called Nuoc Nam or Nuoc Cham, and it's a Vietnamese dressing, and it's probably my go-to favorite dressing. So to start out our vinaigrette, I'm gonna go ahead and add this really cool thing. This is palm sugar, and it comes either in these like round kind of big old tablet size, or you can get them already kind of broken down in a paste. And all you do is take this on a grater, and it looks like this afterwards. So let's go ahead and put some of this in a bowl. Our meat is done cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and add the steak to the bowl. It's gonna have a little carryover cooking because it's just gonna sit here in this bowl while it's still warm, just sitting like that. We started out with our palm sugar, right? We're gonna add in lime juice, and like I said, same amount of lime juice, that palm sugar. And if you don't have palm sugar, you don't want to buy palm sugar, you can use any type of sweetness you like. I think we're just going to need a couple more limes. And then, of course, the fish sauce. So fish sauce, which I have a bottle of right here, you can choose whatever brand you find or like of fish sauce. I find that chefs, we all have our own favorite flavors, our own favorite fish sauces, if you will. But it's up to you, whatever brand you like. So this is fermented, dried fermented fish is what this is. There is no shellfish in it, even though the name has a crab in it. It doesn't have any shellfish. So this is safe for people that are allergic to shellfish but can eat fish. So add that in. So I like to add some freshly chopped garlic into my nuoc nam. I also love adding a little heat. So here I have some Thai chilies, and I'm going to go ahead and slice these up. But the whole reason why I chose this salad is because of the herbaceousness, because of the delicious herbs that actually cause this salad to be one of the freshest, most delicious salads. Now, if you're vegetarian, you can go ahead and make this salad just simply sauteing tofu, or you can just add the herbs, the noodles, and a little crunchy green to this salad, and it's going to be delicious. So there is my nuoc cham. Let's whisk that together. And you really got to work in that palm sugar, by the way. Make sure that it all kind of melts in there. I'm not going to take that whisk out of there until we're totally done with this vinaigrette. So let's talk about all this beautiful green goodness that came from my front yard and what would go really well with any Asian recipe that you might be making, especially Southeastern Asian. So this is my gorgeous mint, which excites me. My mint has grown so much that it's actually growing into my grass at this point, and I welcome it. I love it because we use it not only for a lot of food in my house, it goes into a lot of cocktails in my house. We also are going to use some of the cilantro that I've got, and if you know anything about me, you know I love not only using the leaves of cilantro, but I also mainly use all of the softer stems from the cilantro. And then finally basil. So over here we've got some beautiful basil, which I'm going to go ahead and take some of that. I don't have Thai basil today, we're not growing that yet. So how to really get into the herbs and attack them. So really, there's different ways to clean herbs. Basically, pushing the opposite way in which they grow is the quickest way to take herbs off of the stem until you get to the top part. How to keep herbs once you harvest them. We just wrap them up in paper towels that just are a little bit damp from some ice water on the bottom, and keep them in my fridge. And they really hold, this will hold for about a week and a half in my fridge like that. I mean, it's just great because you always have gorgeous fresh herbs. So again, just pushing down the opposite way in which they grow to get most of the leaves. And this is the mint. Okay, cilantro, which I'm using a little bit of the stem, but a lot of the leaf. And then finally basil. All those leaves in there. So there you go. We've got that. I've got a little bit of leaf lettuce to add a little bit of crunch, which I'm just going to slice a little bit off, like so. Give it a little more green. I don't really think I even need to chop my herbs. I think I'm just going to leave them all whole because they're so delicious. Plop them on top of that meat. Okay, I've got my noodles. I'm going to add those in here. And then finally, for crunchiness, I've got some chopped up peanuts, if you can eat them. I've got some crunchy shallots that I cheated and bought. You can find them at any Asian market. We're going to pour in this nuoc dam, and when you come back, this will be mixed up and presented beautifully, magically, with the magic of a little bit of TV. And then we're going to jump into another beautiful recipe that I will serve in 2 ways. So come back in a minute. See ya. I'll finish this recipe right after this. to SoFlo Taste. All of my recipes are available on the SoFlo Show's webpage. Just scan this quick response code and you'll zip over to the Fabulous Shows page. So you'll also see this QRC on the ingredient list throughout the show. Now back to my SoFlo Taste about herbs. All right, everyone, look how gorgeous this is. So this is my beef noodle salad, crunchy nuts, but mainly all those yummy herbs that make this absolutely irresistible. All right, I threw a salmon in the oven because I wanted to show you this dressing, which will go with not only the roasting salmon, but also all these beautiful crudité vegetables. I got my salmon at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Just so you know, I know we already talked about them, but they have dozens of species of fish. So go see them for your fish needs as well. All right, so let's jump over to my green goddess. There's a lot of ways to make green goddess, but I'm going to teach you one of my favorite ways, especially one that will go beautifully with this crudité, but also with the fish behind me. Because I went harvesting actually this morning before I got to the show, I have in this blender top already basil, cilantro, and a little bit of mint. I also thought, why not add a little bit of rosemary? And this is probably one of my favorite herbs. This is tarragon, and what you're seeing is flowering tarragon. I happen to love the flowers of the tarragon, which, by the way, you can sprinkle over some of your favorite chicken, mushroom, and vegetable dishes. I know tarragon goes with pretty much anything, but my favorite is to really use it for chicken and mushrooms. So I'm just going to use the leaves. Remember, I told you how to just push down, get all your leaves off of your stem, and then deal with the little tops. So we're going to add tarragon to this too. And then we're also going to use, I grow a lot of dill because I use a lot of dill. And so I'm going to use a lot of the tops of my dill today too to make this green goddess. All right, so let's talk about all the creamy parts that make the blender move. We've got some of my favorite mayonnaise, which today will be Duke's. Today's Duke's happens to be my favorite. I also have just a little bit of sour cream, some fresh squeezed lemon juice, just from one lemon, and finally buttermilk, because I wanted this to be a little looser than normal. I wanted this to have a little bit of a flavor of ranch dressing too. So I've got some granulated garlic, granulated onion. Instead of cayenne, I'm using Aleppo, which if you've been watching me lately, you've been seeing that I've been using a lot of Aleppo, which happens to be a little less spicy than cayenne, but a little more fruity. Can't forget about the salt. And I'm going to add just a little dot of black pepper in there too. Let's go ahead and blend that up. So just so you know, for the salmon, I just topped it with a little olive oil, salt, Aleppo, and fresh dill on the top. That was it. Okay, so let's see how it came out. Like I told you, I wanted it to be a little more liquid. So good. All right, look how beautifully bright. It's just gorgeous. When you come back, we can go ahead and put some on the salmon, see how that looks, because I know it's going to taste delicious. See you in a minute. SoFlo Taste will return right after this. Welcome to SoFlo Taste. Welcome back, of course. Now, my salmon just finished cooking, and once I can take it off of my little parchment paper, I wanted to show you all the gorgeous herbs, the dill that I cooked on top of it. You always want to cook things on parchment paper so that it's so much easier to peel off, like so. I cooked a big old piece to serve family style. The green goddess works beautifully with crudité, any of your favorite salads, but I love it instead of a dill sauce right over my salmon dish. Adding herbs, whether they are fresh or dried, can add so much to your recipes. Experimenting with them can also always be so much fun. As you can see, there's almost a never-ending variety of them. So now join me next week because it's the start of Heart Health Month. And I'll have recipes that can keep your heart healthy and your tummy satisfied. That's next week here on SoFlo Taste. Now it's time to check in with Elena, host of SoFlo Home Project. Good morning, Elena. What's up next on your menu?
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. So accessories are the best way to really complete a home design. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we tour a beautifully renovated Fort Lauderdale Beach condo with the homeowners, and I'll be helping them add those finishing touches to their space.
Okay, Elena, I could use some help with paint finishes, so we will definitely be watching. So taste buds again, thank you for watching. Please be smart, be safe, and be vaccinated. And I'll see y'all next week. Goodbye, and good taste.